So hey everyone, welcome back to Orbit from Serene by Nicholas F Chandrawientra. Sorry if I butchered that. I just wanted to come back to this as I'm rotating around, and I realised I think this is the only one I haven't done a part of recently. So what I've been thinking about with this one is I've basically been considering, I think, doing a few of these same flowers but with the different colour combo instead of the green, pink and orange. Just, I guess, do a different colour, work that in. I'm not sure which colours yet, and I probably won't do that this time because I'm thinking I will work out where I want the green, pink and orange ones to go first and work that out, and then I will work out which like the ones that are going to be the different colour, because I decided that it would just be too much if they're all the same colour, and I didn't really want them all the same colour. So yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. As for, I know I said I was going to aim for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know I missed Friday, but I just got really busy and didn't quite get to it, but I'm going to aim to, it's Saturday now, so I'm hoping tomorrow I can sit and work on a lot more videos. I'm hoping this lighting isn't too bright. I've tried adjusting it to a spot where it works, and it's just going on dark here, so hopefully it'll work and won't be too bright whilst we're doing it. It's a little bright in the corner of my eye, but I'm trying not to look at it because it's just, yeah, the position of this light sort of makes it awkward, and if it gets too much in my eyes it gives me a headache. So yeah, either way, we'll make it work. So I'm just going to work out these. I'm thinking possibly mostly what I'll work on this time is just continuing these flowers in the hair. These ones on the neck, you can probably just see the start of them. They will be continued, maybe not this part, but next part we will see. So yeah, I just yeah, I hope you enjoy this. This flower here too, it is completely different to the others, so I'm going to do that one a different colour for sure. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy this, and yeah, I really wanted to get back to this. I'm thinking I'm going to look at adding another book onto it after this. I think I'm going to record a second video tonight just because I'm really in the mood for it. I've been doing a lot of stuff today and I'm feeling really happy, and so yeah, I just really feel like doing some recordings now. So as for what I'm going to add in, I'm thinking possibly either Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, which I'm actually using behind this to support it, but as I'm not yet finished with that one, so I'll just shift the plastic. But as you'll see, I'm not done with finishing this entrance cover bit yet, so I'm not sure that I will continue that one, but I may instead add in some Bennett Klein. I may do something from Bennett Klein, so that'll be cool. So I'm kind of sort of leaning towards Bennett Klein or Ivy and the Inky Butterfly or something. We'll work it out after this. Right now I'm just going to work on doing this one, and I thought I had the glad wrap all awkward in there, but fortunately it's not. I don't know why, I seem to always be adjusting the glad wraps in these books that I'm using to protect the pages currently whilst I'm still colouring in them. But yeah, anyway, so what we're going to do this time is we're going to do it slightly differently to the last time where we used our lighter green first, and we're just going to pretty much use our Fabercastell Polychromos. So as you know, I own the 120 set, which I got with birthday and Christmas money, so I'm so happy about that. I'm in a really, really good mood tonight. I just feel really happy with everything that I've been achieving, and I've gotten to walk my dog the last 2 days and I've really enjoyed that. I live just near a race course, and after 10 o'clock you're allowed to take your dog down on the race course and just let them off the leash, and it's all enclosed in, so they can just run around free roam with no worries of them getting away or anything. And so I've been loving doing that the last 2 days, even when it was freezing cold out there because it was snowing an hour away from us. But yeah, and then I've just been puddling around working on some other stuff around the house, and I just feel so happy. I'm in a really good mood. So yeah, so what we're actually going to start with is Fabercastell Hooker's Green, and this will be a darkest tone, so we don't want a heap of, so we don't want a whole heap of like this dark green showing, because we've got to bring our lighter green over it. But what we are going to do is choose the spots where, shall we say, we can have the odd flowers that aren't the same colour, like these three here. I'm thinking I may do all of those, or I may not actually. I may do 3 different colours in the flowers. That would be cool actually. Sorry, just getting ideas as I'm going. So I may do 3 different colours, so that this one can be a different colour and this one can be a different colour, because obviously this one's going to be the only one of that colour because it's the only one of that type. And then basically we're going to work in the... Hang on, what am I thinking? It's not 3 different colours because this one was going to be different anyway. Ugh, me. And yeah, so we're going to alternate between like some of the different colours. So this one over here will be a different colour. This one here I think will be a different colour. This one here will be the orange and green, and oh no, this one might be, yeah, so I'm going to have them sort of interconnect a bit. And I'm just thinking, so that one there with the orange and green, this one here I think with the orange and green, this one here, I was thinking different colour for that one, but if that one's a different colour, that one, maybe this one orange and green too, and then a different colour here, and then different colour here. These ones here look like they're possibly the same colour as, will possibly be the same as this flower that's got the leaves on it there, I'm guessing. I'm just assuming, so I'll probably do those the same colour as this little flower over here. So yeah, just getting a rough idea as to where we're going to do things, and we're still using our Fabercastell Hooker's Green. So I'm just bringing in shadows where, shall we say, it says there's shadows, but even spots where I think there's shadows where there would be a layer in front of it or whatever, I'm still bringing shadows into those spots too, with some of it. Some spots like that I'm just going to do one little bit of shadow there. So we're pretty much following the shadows he's put in here, unless it really comes up to something and you think that it needs a shadow in certain areas, pretty much. So just basically using our judgment to decide where we think it needs shadows, where we think it doesn't, if we want to add shadows to that spot or not. I'm just going to do a very skinny line of the green there, and then we're also trying to add in our little bit of light tones around where those shadows fall. So here, even though it doesn't say it, we're going to add full shadows in there just because that does have petals overlapping. Same for this spot here, even though it doesn't say it, the petals are overlapping, so we're adding our green into those spots too. So just anywhere where it would typically overlay, even if it doesn't have the shadows marked there, do the shadows, because they would have shadows in those spots because they are sort of, shall we say, behind the other petals. So yeah. And somebody's messaging me, but I'm not going to get it right now. So even here there'll be shadows along there, even though it doesn't say there are. So here would be a shadow too, even though it doesn't say it. And I'll be back in a minute. I just need to turn the heater down because it's been quite cold here, but I'm feeling quite hot at the moment. And whoops, I just pushed the table instead of my chair. But I'll just make sure it's still focused, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to pause it while I turn this down. So we're back, everyone. We're just going to continue with our Hooker's Green from Fabercastell Polychromos, and as we're going, we're just basically going around anywhere where there would be shadows behind the thing, even if it doesn't mark it as being shadows, just because I want it to look like as natural as possible, like the shadows would actually be shining in those areas or on those areas. So anywhere where you'd see like a petal in front of another, just put the shadows in there. Trying to leave enough room for our light green sort of area though. So here's another spot where they don't mark all the shadows. So going over anywhere where we sort of think there would be shadows, we're just adding them in to those areas, even if it's not marked as having shadows, because that's what I want to do pretty much. So just use your judgment as to if you think there should be a shadow there or not. And if you miss something, not really much you can do about it. We just do the best we can. And we are adding our like little light areas behind it, well, we sort of blend out, I guess you could say. And because this petal sort of bends over the others, I'm going to do the bit of green around there too, the darker green. And so now I'm going to pretty much oh, it looks like there's another flower. Is that flower there? Hang on. I'm gonna have to look at these because it looks like there's other flowers that I haven't seen here, or other areas of petals too. So I missed a petal there. There's a petal there coming off this one. And see here, behind this area here, it looks like there's another kind of petal there, but I think what I'm going to do is do the alternate colour with this one. So I think I'm going to actually do those two as the alternate colours. Anyway, even though it's, I guess, not necessarily the same, but we are going to do it alternate colours. Also, I have no idea what this circle bit here is meant to be, because there is no details or features in it whatsoever. Maybe it's meant to be another little bulb thing like this one over here. it could be, but I have no idea if it's that or if it's maybe like a piece of fruit like down the bottom here or what. It sort of looks like it should be all flowers, but I'm gonna have to think about that and work that bit out, because over here you've got like a little circular area that looks like a little flower petal, like one of these roses that hasn't opened much yet. Yet this one hasn't had any details drawn in it at all. So I'm gonna think about what to do with that. I may just turn it into a flower. I may, but I will work that out as I go, I guess, as to if I turn it into a flower or not. So I just noticed that bit there as well, sort of going over this, and realised, well, hang on, I have no idea what that bit is to do with. So we'll have to work that out. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to let me know in the comments or whatever. I would love to know, so that I can have a rough idea. Otherwise, I may just use my pencil and adjust it and turn it into a flower or something. But yeah, I might also have a look at some other YouTube videos of people colouring these. If I can find anyone colouring orbit on YouTube, I may have a look and just see if I can work out what that is exactly. Just because I want to, so that I can sort of, if I need to, fill in the details, etc. But yeah, pretty much I'm just going to continue with the hooker's green till we pretty much get all these little odd sort of areas filled in, or our little odd flower areas filled in, and then we will go from there with the rest as well. So I'm just also putting in shadows underneath where these flower petals are sort of bending over as well. But yeah, hopefully I can work out what that part is meant to be. Otherwise, I guess I'll just make it my own thing and turn it into something, and that'll be it. Yeah, so I'll just continue these areas here, adding the hooker's green into these spots and continuing our shadows. And yeah, when we come to the next colour, unless I think of something in the meantime that I need to say, I will come back with some more details and stuff then. So I will just say one more thing. Whilst you're doing this, I will say to watch out. There are some petals here that can confuse you because they're coming from others. Like, see right here, there is a petal here which I think comes from this flower, but it could have been easily confused as coming from this flower here. So just watch out for that as you're doing it, because it seems they've intercombined the other petals from other flowers underneath them. So it is possible to get confused, shall we say, and do the wrong petal from the wrong flower and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to say to watch out for those, and if you have to, double check before you do it, which I'm going to be double checking that one I just pointed out, which I think is a petal from this flower, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to be double checking that now, because it kind of looks like it could be coming from this flower here, but it kind of looks like it's going at an odd angle with the way it's coming. So, because what I'm looking at is the way the petal goes from the flower on the angle kind of thing. Like, a lot of these flowers you'll see they're sort of spread out in an angle around the thing. This one doesn't sort of have that arch around there. You'd think you'd be able to see a bit of the hair through it if it was a petal from that flower. And I'm looking at this, and the direction it's going is actually following the angle of the flower that we've just been working on with our hooker's green. So I am going to, and try not to go too much over the lines like I just did, but I am going to pretty much decide to follow that direction for that petal and do it as part of this flower. So yeah, and I'm pretty much, as I said, just putting shadows around anywhere that the petal, that you think a petal is laying in front of that flower. I'm putting shadows there to make it look more, not just realistic, but more like it's actually has the sunlight and the different petals are reflecting different things, rather than having no shadows in between the petals, because that doesn't always look great either when you've got no shadows whatsoever between the petals. So I'm just trying to make extra sure that those petals do have the shadows. So just anywhere you see other petals overlapping that would usually cause shadows, that's where you put in those layers, shall we say. And it's the same for which we'll do in a minute, like the ones that are sort of folded over with the petals. So like this one, when you come up here, you'd go around where all the folds are with the petal, because under those petal folds would be shadows if you looked at it in real life with the light. And then we do a light shadow of the green over the top of it, which we would continue that down over that one, because it is a sort of shadow area and behind other areas. So that we don't worry about it in that little spot, because it's in that spot it's actually overlaying the other petal, not a petal overlaying it. And I'm also trying not to do too much of this hooker's green, because we've still got our other green to bring in yet. But the smaller the spaces, the harder it is not to take up a lot of the space. So don't worry about that too much if it does take up a lot of the space. We just work around it as best we can. So now what I think I'm going to do, just to make it an odd number, I'm actually going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that little circle that hasn't had any details put in it yet. I'm assuming it's meant to be flower, but I'm assuming either the details were forgotten to be put in it, or it wasn't, or for some reason that Nicholas F Chandrawientra just didn't add the details in. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm going to work that out. I was trying to aim for odd numbers. I may even just change it to look a bit like this flower over here so that we can have some odd numbers. 4, yeah, that would make 5 with that one if I did change it to like that one, which I think I may do now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm still going to work it out and decide whilst I think about it. And we're just coming into our last flower with the green, pink and orange, so that we have odd numbers with that one, because I'm trying to go, well, it may not be so much odd numbers with the flowers down around her neck, depending what colour I do those. I may just do one of each or 2 of one and 1 of another, so that it's still odd numbers. I don't know, or I guess you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I guess with the 2 colours you could do 1 of one colour and 2 of the other colour. But we'll work that out when we get to it as well. I say all these things now and then I completely change my mind when it comes to doing it, because I tend to just play it by ear whilst I'm colouring the image. So I probably shouldn't be saying possible plans right now when I'm not fully decided, but I guess it's ideas and possibilities that we may use. that's that. We're coming to the end of this recording section, or to the end of our 29 minutes that's allowed with this camera, so I'm going to actually pause there and I will be back shortly where we'll do our next green, and then we'll look at doing our next pink and then the orange and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this and I will be back shortly. So hey everyone, we're back. You may notice a couple of areas I started. That's because I tried starting some things and because I was tired I messed things up, and so I pretty much deleted those recordings because they just weren't working, kind of thing. So pretty much what we're doing, we're going in with our Polychromos Leaf Green from Fabercastell. And we're pretty much bringing that over all areas, including the lighter shades in these spots, and then just trying to bring in some, shall we say, light areas around those spots as well, just to make them seem like that. And I'm also noticing some spots where I haven't done much in the way of light shades around them, around some areas. So pretty much just correct those as you go with your Hooker's green. But yeah, we're currently using our leaf green to fill in these spots that require it. Well, not the spots that require it, but and I'm fumbling with what I want to say again. It's like been wanting to record the past however many days, and yet all I seem to do is keep making mistakes. So excuse me whilst I try and get my brain functioning. But yeah, pretty much we just want to bring in our leaf green over those areas and make sure there's a bit of light shadows around the other areas. I was also saying in this, I do notice a spot here where it doesn't have any details. I'm not sure if it's meant to be a rose or a flower or what it's meant to be, or if I'm going to have to turn it into a flower, or whether it's meant to be a berry or what, because obviously he's missed putting the details in that spot. So I'm going to work that out off camera and then work out whatever I want it to be and draw that bit in. And as you'll also notice with these ones, it doesn't look like there is actually going to be much space for the full colours, because they're not really huge spaces in these petals. So I'm going to do the best I can to fit everything in. But yeah, there isn't a huge heap of space in them either, as you'll notice as we're adding our layers and stuff in. So yeah, just do the best you can with that bit anyway. Also, I know I didn't end up with a video out on Friday. I'm still working on actually achieving regular videos 3 days a week. I just happened to get really busy on Friday, and so I didn't end up getting time to do it. I did want it out on Friday, but yeah, I just found I ran out of time to do it. So I'm sure you all understand, and I'm going to keep working to achieve that. And I know I haven't gotten the video out at 11 PM on Monday either. I'm going to still keep working, 11 AM, sorry. I'm still going to keep working on achieving that. But in the meantime, just have patience with me. I'll get there eventually. It's just right now, I do have a lot going on in real life as well, so I'll just do the best I can to get it out as regular as I can and as regular as I want. But I can't always guarantee that I will be able to get one out 3 times a week, but I'm going to do my best to. Just so you know. But yeah, as you'll notice, a lot of these petals, there isn't a lot of space. They're mostly taken up with the green. In some ways, I'm tempted to not do the pink and orange with these ones, but instead leave them green and just have the single orange and red flower, orange, pink and green flower. I am not sure. I'll work it out as I go, I guess, but there sort of isn't a lot of space, but I guess I'll see what I can do and what I can fit in, because I kind of wanted to do two different colours, and then this flower here and these ones over here I think are actually different flowers going by the leaves on them, so like they actually have leaves coming off them as well, and then a different coloured flower here, and then work out whichever one has, like try and keep it to odd numbers, so maybe two of the one colour here and one the other in the centre, but I'm still working that out. You probably couldn't see that area down where I just pointed, but there's some 3 flowers down around her neck that I was talking about them. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes, I guess, as to what we can do. Meant to have our first frost here tonight, so that's going to be fun. Our first frost of winter tonight. I'm not really a huge frost person. I don't enjoy them so much. Thought I just heard the camera start to die then. The battery, I mean. But yeah. So, one of the videos that I did mess up, I did try zooming right in, but yeah, it didn't work out because I swapped to another area, and because I was tired I didn't think to shift the image, so I left it, so of course it cut bits out. So pretty much that's why I'm not zooming in now for these ones, just because I don't want to risk cutting anything out of the video, so I'm just leaving it out at this distance. I know sometimes being even closer really does help, but I'm just kind of doing what works best for me whilst doing this image, so that you all can see exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, as you'll notice, we aren't ending up with a lot of spaces left here, so I guess I'm going to work out exactly what I do there, whether I do swap where I have the orange and pink ones so that we've got some slightly bigger petals, or whether I do something, whether I just have that the only flower in that colour. I'm not sure yet. I'm sort of tossing that up now because I quite like the green flowers with it, but I'm thinking this one, I'm just thinking about space on the petal leaves and stuff like that, and how much space we've actually got in the flower, because times in the past I've brought up all these flowers I intend to put in these spaces and it doesn't all fit, because as you'll notice, a lot of these petals are really, really small, so we're basically already running out of space to fit in any of the other colours. And it doesn't work trying to squeeze in too many. Like, you could probably fit the pink in on the edges of some of those bits, but that's about it. So I'm sort of just thinking maybe I might do a bit of white, but then in some ways I also still want the pinky orangey colours, and it kind of still, yeah, no, I think I'm still going to try and do the pinky orangey colours because it would look different when the petals aren't fully open anyway. So yeah, just bear with me, my brain isn't functioning as well as usual because I am really tired. So yeah, we'll do the best we can, but I really wanted to try and get a recording out, so yeah. As I said though, I've just been doing a lot, as you would have noticed when I first started this video, and then I sort of couldn't keep going because I was just way too tired to keep going that night, and I've only got it back to it now, a couple of days later. I'm still tired, but I'm achieving a lot, which makes me happy in the same process. It's just I wish there was enough more hours in the day and you didn't get so exhausted when you're trying to do a heap of different things. Would be nice, wouldn't it? At least I think so anyway. It'd be nice to have the energy to do all you wanted and not need so much sleep and stuff like that. Be able to achieve everything. But yeah, we'll do what we have to do, don't we? Even if sometimes it takes us away from what we want to do. But yeah, it's been a good few days anyway, so. And I'm happy to get back to this. I just wish I wasn't feeling so worn out. But everyone goes through that. We'll get there. It's nice to get back to the colouring anyway, because I've missed it. I really have. And I'm kind of thinking I've made a decision now. I think what I'm going to do is with this orange, pink and green flower, I think I'm actually going to continue that one. I'll move it up. See these flowers down the neck? I think I might continue that at least in 2 of these ones down the neck. And then I'm going to do 2 other different colours up here. So it's just like the one flower there. I'm thinking an odd flower might be better. Odd flowers might be better if I can manage it. We'll see how we go, I guess. And I've just got to adjust. I've just got one of my other colouring books sitting underneath this because it's just the way this book sits. It sits way too high to viably colour it flat on the table. So I have another colouring book underneath it. And I think what I'm going to do with these green flowers is actually just add a white or another light green or something into them instead. So what I'm also going to do, some of these areas up here where we don't have anything, I'm going to put just a light shade of the leaf green in there. So we're continuing that down here. And we just want to put that in there so that it looks a little more viable kind of thing with the flowers in the end kind of thing. If that makes sense kind of thing. Ugh. Where's my language today? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have no idea, I really have no idea what this little spot here is. Like, it doesn't have anything filled in on it. It's just a blank white spot like these berries down around the neck. That's basically how it's been left, and so I'm not sure if it's meant to be a flower or meant to be one of those berry type things or what. If you have any ideas, please let me know. I'm just kind of feeling really confused about that white spot and the fact that there is no details put in it. It's just left as a white circle. Maybe Nicholas F Chandrawientra actually missed that one with putting the details in. I am not sure, so please, if you have any ideas what that could be, please let me know, because I would love to find out. And yeah, I would appreciate your help with that. And now what I'm quickly going to do is actually go down to, can you see it? Yeah. In this one. So we're actually instead going to come in with our Hooker's Green from Polychromos from Fabercastell. And we're actually going to, as I was saying with the others, highlight any areas where petals overlap for shadows. But we also want to bring in our little light areas. And I keep hearing it tick, so I think the camera battery's died. And then we also want to bring in our little light sort of shadow bits, because we're going to bring in, to make it an odd number with those green flowers, we're going to bring in a green flower down around this neck area. Here we are. And this one doesn't seem to have much of that green along there, so we'll just do it where it is. But anywhere where it sort of looks like a petal's overlapping, like just down here where I found that I missed it with that other petal, you're just basically putting in shadows in those areas to make it actually look like there's shadow highlights there, because in real life there would be shadow highlights in those areas, but Nicholas F Chandrawientra, hasn't actually put those shadows in, so you need to add those shadows yourself as you do it. At least that's what I'm doing anyway, so that I've actually got those shadows there that I want. And we still do want our light sort of green shadow areas for making it easier with the blending later on too. just because I missed where some of the variations are sticking up. I basically took it straight over them, then by accident without even thinking about it, and that caused it to look a little odd in my opinion. Like maybe it wasn't odd, but for me it looked odd. So just any little adjustments like that, feel free to change for yourself as well. Any areas you find you've missed with the petal shadows as you're going along, just feel free to fill those in as well. But I find sometimes the petals actually look better when they do have a bit of those variation in shadows rather than looking like straight lines where they blend, which sometimes it still does, and sometimes you want it to look like that, but sometimes you don't as well. At least in my opinion, I find that anyway. Now we're going to come in with our leaf green, Polychromos leaf green, and we want to bring that in over those areas where we've done our hookers green, but also into some of these other areas that weren't coloured before, that didn't have so much colour, that are like the overhang bits of the petals. That's what I'm meaning. So I'm not talking about the general flower petals, but where you've kind of got some overhangs from the flower, and we still want to make it look like those areas have some shape and definition with a bit of the colour in there when we add in our next colour. And then we're going to do these two on the neck. We're going to do them with the green, pink and orange. So I know I'm saying all these possible ideas and plans, but at the same time it is as I do things, my brain seems to constantly change whilst I'm doing it as to exactly what I want to do. Sometimes it's clear, but a lot of the time I have a clear idea of what I want to do, but then it changes whilst I'm doing it. So yeah, just bear in mind any of the suggestions or things that I make as I go. It may or may not happen, just because my frame of mind changes as to what I'm doing as I do it and get the colours into it, and then it sort of changes as I go, because I might realise that I want a different colour instead of what I was thinking, or whatever instead, because I don't feel that that colour combo or what I was thinking will work now. So yeah, just basically realise that what I'm thinking of doing may or may not happen, depending on how the image goes and how things work, because things change for me as I do it. I can't guarantee that I'm going to stick with what I've been talking about doing. Because I'm one of those people that, well, I'm not happy about change, and when things change, that I'm also one of those people, like with my colouring or my art, that I can't necessarily stick with I don't necessarily stick with my first idea when I'm doing my art. Like, with other things, yes, I don't like the change and I don't like the things being different. But my art, yeah, it constantly changes. But that's artists, I guess. So we're constantly changing how we want to do it. And yeah, I guess I just wanted to let you know so that you can keep in mind what I'm saying I might do, I might not actually do. It might happen for the next time. I don't know. So what I'm going to do, because we're getting towards the end of our recording time, I'm actually going to pause it there for a minute, and we'll come back and we'll continue with it once I paused it, kind of thing, just because I don't want it to switch off, and I'm probably going to change the battery as well, just to make sure that the camera won't run out and switch off in the middle of doing something. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. So hey everyone, we're back. So I've had a bit of a look through my Fabercastell Polychromos set, and I've decided on actually bringing in a light yellow glaze with these green flowers. I tested it on one little petal and I actually really like the look of the light yellow glaze with the greens. I've decided with this green, pink and orange flower, I'm actually thinking what I'm going to do is possibly bring one of that down here, or I'm still maybe one of that down here and maybe add one into, like, I'm thinking sorry, couldn't see that. This little blank circle here, I'm thinking I'm gonna draw that into a flower, just do a little bit of the green, pink, orange in that, and then bring one of that down here, and then also bring what I'm thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll make 6. Well, one might have to be even numbers, or we can just change one of these ones and actually do it as like in the flower, this flower that's completely different over here, but I don't think this one exactly is different. I'm still working out whether these ones over the side of the head are the same or different, because it looks like they have some leaves coming up out of them, but I'm not sure. I want to actually get on Google and look at images before I decide exactly what to do with these flowers at the side. You won't see all of them there, but some looks like bits of leaves coming out of it, and so I wonder if possibly that could be part of like this flower, but this flower over here is going to be a single flower as well. So I guess I've kind of got a lot of thinking to do based around that, because I really do want to keep odd numbers. I guess maybe another possibility is actually just doing one of these flowers here a fourth colour or something, just having another solo colour, or actually no, depending, I've got to work out how many, I'm not sure how many flowers there are in that side area, whether it's just 2 or whether it's 3, because I can't actually tell from the way the petals sort of sit. It sort of looks like there could be 3, but it could be 2 as well. But I can't tell, which is why I want to do another look at Google, I guess, with those. So I'm sort of thinking, I don't want to jump in and start work on them when I'm not sure, kind of thing, with the exact ones and how I'm going to work it yet. So yeah, I'll have to work that out probably. yeah, so sorry about that. So anyway, we're going to come in with a light yellow glaze, but Polychromos. And what we're going to do in this, these greeny ones, we just basically want to bring that in over all the other green colours. So we're basically just blending that in over everything else. Yeah, I might even take some time before finishing this video to go and look over things, or I may finish that on this part with the flowers and then just then go and work out the others before we do, because I was thinking it would be cool if I could have one of each colour type of flower down here, but I need to work out the exact amounts. Like it may mean doing another greenish flower here, but these ones do look like they could be different, or like they could be leaves. Sorry, you can't see again. These ones here on the side of the head look like they could be different, and looks like there's some leaves there, but so what I might actually do is, so that I can keep going a little bit with this video and so that I can have a look, I might actually, I'm just adjusting some of that glad wrap back into its spot at the back of this. I'm going to do these colours in, then what I might do is pause, go and look on Google, try and get some ideas of what those areas are, and then I can come back and we can sort of discuss it and work out sort of where we're going to go from here with the flowers, how we're going to do it, if we're going to have odd numbers flowers, or if we're going to be able to do all odd number flowers, because it would be really nice to have one of each different colour down here around the neck, just so that it sort of ties in a bit, but that's just my thoughts. It looks like maybe it is flowers actually supposedly going all the way around the neck there, so that may not happen anyway. I just noticed all the flowers around the neck too. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do really, I'm going to finish these flowers, and then I think what I'll do, even though I know that makes it a bit shorter than usual, I'll probably end it there, and then I want to do a lot of Google research before I actually record the next part, so that I do have a clear idea where I'm going, because I'm getting very confused by the way the image is and the way the image looks. So I really want to get a clear frame of mind as to what's flowers, what's leaves, what's what, so that we can continue that the way it's sort of, well, not the way it's meant to be, but so that we just have, so that I have more of a clear idea as to what I can do layout wise, which are flowers, which are leaves, so that I'm not having it looking odd at the end, or do something and then realise that's not meant to be that thing, and blah blah blah, pretty much. So I just, yeah, want to get a rough idea of the image layout in my head, because some of these images can get quite confusing and it makes it hard to keep doing it when you're not sure what's what. I'm sure that makes sense. Anyway, so now we want to come back up to the head bit here, and we want to bring in our, there's actually a dark area there, I don't know. There's like a little spot between these flowers here where I haven't really done anything, and I'm not sure if that's to do with where there's meant to be hair colour coming through or what. So I guess I'll just leave it. You're not really going to notice the difference with all the colours in front of it, at least for now, because actually, hang on, no, don't mind me, I just want to check this bit up. I just want to check a colour. So I've just got my diary here with all the pencil colours for the different images. So this one here is Serene, so it was the Walnut Brown was our darkest colour. So Walnut Brown, light purple pink, and Crimson and Magenta, I think it was. But what I want to do, Sorry, it's just moving my book that I've been reading lately. Good evening. So I just want to find these colours. I still don't know my way around my Polychromos tin yet because I haven't used them as much as I would like to. So I'm still learning my way around it. That's not it. Which one's the Walnut Brown? Van Dyke Brown. Umber. No, it was a dark brown. Here it is. So what I'm going to do, there's just a little square in between these three flowers here. I'm just going to bring in our Walnut Brown into that spot. Just fill it in with that. And then we're going to come in with our... which colour was it? Hang on. Crimson, which is where? No, that's red violet. That's magenta. That's crimson. I'd like purple pink, which I think we already have out for something else. I know that's middle purple pink. Magenta. There's Meadow Lake. No, that's not it. That's a flesh colour. Here it is. I already had it out. I was still looking through the tin when I already have it out. So basically what we're going to do, we're just going to bring in these colours over that little patch. And actually I should shift that book so that it's not in the way. And shift my diary thing now. So it's not in a light. So we're just going to bring in the magenta there. I'm going to bring in our crimson. And just our light. Oh no, the light purple pink wasn't in that, sorry. Yeah, so we're just going to do those couple of colours there. And that is not the right spot for it, I don't think. I don't know where the right spot for any of those is. I guess I'll look up in the manual thing as to exactly where they go after. But yeah, so we better continue with our light yellow glaze now that we've filled in that spot, which would have been hair. I just decided to fill it in the end rather than leave it because otherwise it would bother me. As I'm sure you all know the feeling when there's that little patch or area in the colouring piece that bothers you. So we're just continuing with our light yellow glaze. And I'm dinting the tooth of the paper again there. I can feel it. Yeah, I have been a bit. So, just also try not to dint the tooth of the paper like I've just started doing. It's not really bad, but what's causing it is the fact that it is kind of bubbling up due to where the spine sits, because at the back it's glued onto, just see along here, it's actually a glued spine area that sort of folds out, and so that stops it from actually straightening it like some of the books do, so it leaves a bubble along the edges where you go. So you have to sort of, which I wasn't doing then because I didn't realise it till now, you actually have to press down that area so it doesn't bubble up where you're colouring, and that causes the tooth of the paper to bend if it does bubble up, and causes you to dent the tooth of the paper, particularly if you're pressing a little firm to get the colour in or trying to blend more colours on top of other colours. You're more likely to, shall we say, bend the tooth of the paper, particularly if it does have that bubble in the side of the spine due to the way they've glued it and done that, because it just makes it even harder to do that. Like to get into those spine areas where the flowers and that are, and to do the background, I'm actually going to have to basically hold the book straight up at a 90-degree angle whilst I colour in those spots, because it's going to be pretty much impossible with the way the fold is. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually left a fold in the book there already from the way it sits due to the way they've glued the book. So I guess it's kind of like the ivy and the inky butterfly. It's glued exactly the same way, the way where you can actually, shall we say, pop the glue off the cover, and the way it sort of, I find for colouring books it doesn't work well that way, because it just causes you to cause damage to the paper and pop the spine of the book and stuff, because they just haven't been built that well, in my opinion. Like, I love the images, I love the book, but the way some of these books are built actually makes it very hard to colour or do stuff in, just because of the way they're being built and put together. I don't know if you guys find that, but that's how I find it anyway, with the way I do it. So I just want to check on that again. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like, the paper is very thick, but that's another thing I've noticed with this paper too. Be careful with your colour layers, because I notice this paper very easily can get overdone with the amount of layers, and it can start trying to, even sometimes if you haven't put many layers on, with this paper that's been used in this book, whilst it's thick and it seems good, it does very easily, like, sometimes if you get a cramp or something and you start pressing a little too hard, it will actually remove the colour off a certain area. So I'll see if I can find, no, I can't find the spot right now, but you'll notice this one here, it's all dinted up in there due to things bubbling and me pressing too hard when my hand was cramped as well, so it's all bubbled up and folded up there. There also was one spot in the wing where it actually started taking the paper layers off, which wasn't great, and I wasn't impressed by that. So I'm just gonna readjust the Glad Wrap layout in this page again, because it slipped right out due to catching on the other. And yeah, I might be able to show you with this front one here, so I'll try zooming right in. You'll see right here near my fingernail, if you can see it, there was a spot here. I was just working with the same paper layer as everywhere else, hadn't particularly pressed any harder, any firmer or anything, and all of a sudden the paper just started lifting and peeling off. So I'm wondering if there could be faults in this paper with that happening. I'm not totally sure, but it's something that I am wondering about. So So just something I have noticed with this book and to keep in mind, and like it did seem like that wouldn't be the case with this book with those things, but the more I do stuff in the book, the more I start to notice the faults and the things that actually make things harder in the book. So I just wanted to, I guess, fill you in on what I've noticed as I go. So this is back to our light yellow glaze, and we're just going to finish off the rest of these green flowers for this part, and then I'm going to leave it at that, and we shall bring it back in later on once I've had, well, not bring it back in later, but I'll do another part later after I've had time to actually Google things and work out what's where with the image. But I do notice that does tend to happen, like maybe it is partly to do with me pressing too hard and hence burnishing the book as well, causing layers not to stick, and instead it rubs layers off. But the funny thing I find about that is the fact that it hasn't seemed to happen in every area when I'm putting the same amount of layers on in every area. It happens in certain areas, so I do wonder too if then maybe that is a bit of a fault with the paper as well. But I guess we don't know, do we? And now I'm realising I'm pressing a little hard at the minute, and I don't want to cause a heap of dents in the paper either, so yeah. And I don't want to burnish it too much yet. And I just realised, sorry, that was zoomed in and I missed part again. Ugh. My mistake. See, this is what I mean when I'm tired. I forget to adjust things, and hence I find it easier to scrap the image, particularly the video, particularly when it happens early before I've done much. But in this case, I can't scrap it because we're right far into it. So, yeah. Bummer. So, I don't know. As you'll notice, I've just done some of the yellows around here. You can't really see it so much from the background, but hopefully you'll be able to see it more once we actually get into the thing. I was just checking it was focused then too. But yeah, hopefully you'll see it more once it's up on video kind of thing. don't know that you can actually tell the lemon yellow grey glaze is going down there, but just from the back of the camera I can't actually see it on there, so hopefully you'll see it as it goes. So I'm just trying to move it along a bit because we're getting close to the end of our 29 minutes here, and I'm going to leave it at this bit, so I figured I might as well finish it in this spot, just because I want to do, as I said, some Google research and work out where bits and pieces are and what's what with this image. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.